Well, greetings and welcome back to this month's podcast for the Global Relay for Life Forum. So good to connect. And this month, we'll be talking a little bit about community engagement for corporations, or CSR. As we know, Relay for Life is a great vehicle for connecting to communities, bringing in volunteers, but also a great way to connect with corporations. I've been recently discussing with a colleague from Belgium, from the Foundation Against Cancer, about some of the activities happening there. And of course, about finding what's beneficial, what's in it for them that really helps them to come to the table. So with great pleasure, I'm welcoming to the call Pascal Eastervik from the Belgian Foundation Against Cancer. Welcome, Pascal. So good to see you.
Thank you, Mats. Great to see you too.
Good stuff. Love to chat a little bit about this topic, but first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay, I'm Pascal. I'm part of the Belgian Cancer Foundation. The Belgian Cancer Foundation has its 100-year anniversary this year, so for us it's a very special year. Um, I have been at the foundation for a year and a half, and I'm responsible for the relays in Belgium and all field activities. So we started the relay season about a month ago. So we're in the midst of relaying. We have 33 relays this year. Um, I have a background of marketing, communication, social responsibility, reputation, and marketing strategy. I've been working for 23 years in telecommunication and 5 years in Belgian Rail. Especially Belgian Rail was very important for me because it gave me the opportunity to look at the public mission of the rail in Belgium and to see how we can be at service for the customers. And that's how I started working on societal relevance. And that helped me today to make the bridge with relaying.
Perfect. Pick up on the phrase societal relevance there. I think that's a really interesting one. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And from a corporate perspective, a lot of us, like myself, have always worked in the not-for-profit sector. And so I haven't the understanding exactly what is it that the corporations are looking for in terms of societal relevance? What does that mean to them, and how can we tap into that?
So today, if we look in a corporate way of working, corporates always have their annual financial report, which is still very important. But in Europe, they need to deliver a second document, and it's called a non-financial report. And basically, it forces corporate to look at their societal relevance and the way they connect with different stakeholders in a non-commercial way. And then it becomes important because then the corporate um, tries to find a position in a community, in a target, in an audience. And so, on one side, you still have KPIs, objectives, financial reporting. And on the other hand, you will have things that are more linked to community building, to relevance, but relevance in a more human way, in a positive way, social impacts. And it's what I call corporate citizenship.
Perfect. Okay, that's a really great explanation and helps us to really understand that. And so I know that the relay program in Belgium has worked with a number of corporations. How's that going at the moment? And I'd love you to share a little bit about the story with your recent engagement for a relay there in Belgium.
So basically, we work in a more traditional way. So we do the 24-hour relay. We work with volunteers and we always ask the help of local corporations or local companies, and they can help us in sending in teams. They can help us in sending us infrastructure and material. And the story all started with a relay that was stopped, and some survivors that came to talk to us and said, we want to have a new relay in that area. And so we started brainstorming, and then one of the survivors said, let's talk to the mayor. And so we went to see the mayor, and he said, but we have a great opportunity. We have an amusement park in our town, so why not talk to them and try to convince them? Now, the amusement park is one of the, I think it's the biggest one in Belgium. So, the CEO is a kind of a public person. So I started thinking and I said, how can I convince them that it's important to join relay, not just as a company, but also from a more internal way of looking in things. And then we're talking about employer branding. And so that's when I started taking all the social responsibility um, contents and try to um, change them in a way that became relevant for relays. And that's how you start basically looking at the DNA of a relay and the DNA of your partner. And then the story begins. It's all about storytelling and about telling that relay is a kind of a marketing tool. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but more in a CSR way, where you try to sell your relay and try to create quick wins. Because if you go to pure fundraising, you always ask for money. And here we don't ask for money, basically, we ask for help. And we have a very powerful tool that is the relay itself. And then it is just, you just need to take some time, sit back, look at the relay, look at your partner, and trying to find connecting elements. And that's what we did. So basically, when I went to see the CEO, I said to him, I'm going to explain why it is important for Relay to partner up with you. And he was interested. And then my second slide was, why is it important for the corporate to connect with the relay? And then it is all about social relevance. It's all about being part of a community, being part of the whole human aspect of relay, and that human aspect can be found in the employer branding and everything that's HR related. And um, and so that's how you start building a long-term relationship where there's an added value for the relays but also for the corporate. And because we are in Europe, they need to send in a non-financial report, and they can use the relay story and the way they work with us and the way they use their employees to work with the volunteers. Their employees will be volunteering for the whole weekend for us. And so you create a quick win, and then it becomes really interesting and valuable.
Fantastic. So, a couple of questions that came to my mind whilst listening to you there. One, is this something that you developed within the relay team and you went out to do, or did you need to draw on other teams within the foundation to input into this this pitch or this conversation with this fairground amusement park, I should say?
Everything's yeah, everything started when I got an invitation from the CEO of the amusement park, and because it is a public figure, you think it's maybe a once in a lifetime opportunity to talk to someone who has an important company and who has a company that is in a domain that is a bit different because it's an amusement park. But it's very interesting because they have a whole infrastructure and they are working with families. It's about fun, it's about family amusement, it's about people coming together. And so, as I said, I sat back, I started thinking, and I draw something. I draw through a few slides. I talked to my peers, and then I went to the meeting, and it worked. And so that's when I started thinking, if it works one time, maybe it's going to work a second time and a third time. And so it's worth digging in to the subject and making some sort of a white paper and using it every time you talk to an enterprise, every time you want to look for a B2B partnership. It is giving value to the relay that's of interest for the enterprise. And then I think you can start working a lot more easily.
Really useful. So then talk to me a bit about the other side. Obviously, we know Relay for Life is very much a volunteer-led activity within the community. That's how we reach people and how we engage communities. How did the local committee react to this and how are they running with it?
They're so proud. They're so proud because in the area, the amusement park is like really well known. It's something that's been around since I was a little girl, and even before that. Um, it's part of a huge holding in Belgium that's also media related. So, communication wise, it's very important as well. So, for the local community, they're very proud to be part of a bigger story and also to receive all the opportunities that the company is giving to them because of the partnership.
Fantastic. That's great. It's great. It seems to be a collaboration where all parties are happy. Everybody's seeing opportunities for themselves, and I think that's really the key. The key message here is to put ourselves in the shoes of the corporation and see, well, what's the benefit for them, for the community to engage and to give their social responsibility. How can the relay benefit from it, and ultimately how can our organizations, of course, benefit from it? So um, that's a wonderful picture. Pascal, thank you so much for connecting and sharing this. I mean, we could talk in much more detail about this, but maybe at another time. The podcast we like to keep relatively short. So thank you so much for the time. It's great to connect with you, and we look forward to seeing the relay and the results from it.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. And I always like to share some of our uh, new approaches, I think, with the other members. So thank you very much for the opportunity.